Hello, darkness, my old friend. It's fucking shitty out. It was supposed to snow. I got ripped off. I bought like $90 worth of food. More than I usually get because I thought I would have to have stockpiles. So if I get snowed in, and this is what we get instead. Small update on the car. It's fixed now. Thanks to you guys. Thanks to your generous donations and permission to use Hampture funds to fix the coolant loop, which turned out to be the problem. It needed a replacement sensor about this big and a fancy rubber band from GM called a sensor harness, and together those cost me $400. Yes, really. I'm gonna grab one of these because it's rainy, and I played Hobo Tough Life on Steam and it made me feel really bad, so I bought a bunch of these to hand out because it's rainy right now. That's how they get you. That's their racket, those crafty hobos, to get fucking free umbrellas. But I'm gonna need one of these eventually, so I may as well pick it up while I'm here. Look at these. These are the right diameter, and they have a rubber skirt on one side, so they seal themselves, and I don't have to slap some silicone on there. Ah, it's an automatronic robotomatron. I have the older one, but this one empties itself. Perhaps someday. Look at this fucking strawberry time machine. Remember Clock Crew? Remember Newgrounds? I remember. As if life weren't hard enough, now there's robot chads to compete with. Or hot chod. This guy walks into the club and slaps your GS ass. What do you do? What do you do? And drove it. Mission accomplished. Oh, while I'm here I should pick up a new shit bucket. But do I really need one this fancy? I'm back, baby. Hopefully that's my last trip for a while. I'm gonna have to come back here when I start to do the electrical shit. I'm pretty sure, but that's a ways off. This episode of Hampture brought to you by Dr. Pepper, the official beverage of mad science. The hour of my triumph is at hand. And those fools at the Academy said it couldn't be done. Well, who's laughing now? It's me, I'm laughing. I'm the one laughing. Oh, actually, come to think of it, they might not have been saying that it couldn't be done. They might have been saying that it shouldn't be done. I'm not sure. I don't listen too closely. So as you can see, this project is now moving ahead by leaps and bounds. I've got the docking collar firmly affixed. Not perfectly. As you can see, this could have come a little further this way and not stuck out as much. So there are slight irregularities. It's perfectly level though. The problem is, even if nobody cares that this is not quite aligned the way I wanted it to be, I'll know it. I can't begin to quantify how much frustration that'll cause me. Anyway, this is the docking skirt. Everything's the way it really would be. And there's the closed hatch. And I put this on this way around instead of having this face forward because it occurred to me when these are in the water, these are going to be extended most of the time. And I don't want these protruding forward. I wanted the front side of the habitats to remain nice looking. So I have these facing backwards now. And you can see I really drilled all that out. That was a harrowing experience because of how easy it would have been to fuck something up. The alignment of the hole is actually not perfect either, as you can see. It's a little bit off center, but I think the seal still touches enough plastic. If it doesn't, I can always put some silicone on there. Anyway, now to leak test it. But to accurately leak test a positive pressure habitat, the air inside has to be under pressure. So to that end, I've brought the compressor in here, and we're gonna pressurize the air in the habitat and then fill the bathtub up far enough that I can look down into here and see if any water is coming in through the hatch. Now take a look at that. Not a drop of water has gotten in or on the floor by the hatch. Those bubbles are not coming from anywhere on the hatch where it's mounted to the habitat. They're bleeding through the seal like they did before on either side. That means the system of mounting this I've used is so watertight, without any silicone sealant, I might add. There's not even any bubbles coming from where I've mounted it to the side of the habitat. Not only is no water getting in, no bubbles are even getting out. Now, I appreciate the concern expressed in the comments of my videos, because it comes from a good place and I care about intentions. They're worried about the hamsters, so they're always urging me to go way overboard on water tightness. What they don't understand, because most people who lead normal lives and aren't insane do not have the experience that I do with building ambient pressure habitats, they are extremely fault tolerant. Dry as a bone. If I'd known it was going to be this straightforward to make TUNNLES, I would have made a lot more TUNNLES by now. I didn't even do a particularly good job of aligning things on this one, but because the seal still touches the plastic everywhere, and because of these rubber-lined washers, even without any silicone whatsoever, it's just a perfect seal. I'm feeling pretty good about this. If adding the docking collar to this big boy goes as smoothly, I will be a happy camper. Okay, I've drilled the first hole. I really hope I don't fuck this up. Also got a vacuum here because drilling through plastic, unsurprisingly, creates a lot of little bits of plastic shit everywhere. Second hole drilled. As I do this, I'm making sure to clear off little bits of plastic so they don't get stuck in between the seals, especially the rubber washers on the other side, and the valve, because that would compromise the water tightness. Okay, looking good so far. Moment of truth. Shit, I feel like my blood pressure's gone up 1,000 times. I broke the fucking drill bit. Welp. I cannot fucking believe it, but I had to buy a whole new hole saw. I actually got the correct Allen wrenches, but it was just in there too tightly, and the one I had was kind of mangled and coming apart, so new hole saw. Okay, let's try this again. Alright. Not too shabby. It's a little scratched up here where the old hole saw slipped after the drill bit broke, but that's going to be covered by the valve once it's installed. It's so beautiful. I'm gonna cry. Okay, that's enough. Look at how well it turned out. Ah! All my dreams are coming true at once! Except for the one about the Tesla made of boobs. I want to point out these washers were a really good decision. They start out like this, sort of conical. But as you tighten the screw, they're sort of crushed flat, achieving a better seal against the hole. That's probably what they're for. I don't know my ass from my elbow when it comes to hardware stuff like this, but they really did the trick. There they are. Docking collar's complete, and these suckers are on there. Look at that. I can pick it up by the hatch and without any fear that I'm going to break anything. It's just fucking solidly attached. And it has to be. Like, I couldn't do anything less than this. I can't fuck around with components. Everything has to be like industrial grade and sturdy, because long-term submersion, even in freshwater, that's a challenging environment. And these are going to be down there a while, so I need everything to be like really fucking well made. There's a elevation difference. I don't think that's going to be a real big issue. For one thing, this is heavy enough it's going to sink into the sand a bit. But also, if the tube is long enough, then it can easily go down and flex a little bit to go between these two. I've been thinking about what the end game is going to be for this, since just these two habitats don't really constitute a city. But I was imagining having alternating large and smaller enclosures, about 8 of them in a ring, since I can either connect them in a straight line or a ring, because of the difficulty of attaching one of these to here because of these things, or here because of, you know, it doesn't work as well as just attaching them serially, having hatches on the sides. But I could have a ring of these, probably out-facing actually, so that all the power and life support stuff, like the air tube, all of it comes together into one umbilical that goes straight up to a floating buoy. And I am going to need a life support buoy. I realized, because I don't want multiple 110 volt power cables with dubious water tightness all running, 100, 200 feet to shore. I'd rather have the cords from the habitats all go up to a floating buoy, plug into a nice dry power strip in a floating watertight container of some kind, and then have a single extension cord for that power strip going to shore with foam floats on the cord every couple of feet or so that the cord floats along the surface, which will make things easier for me. It won't have to be as long, and I'll not have to be concerned about although that's an open question, really, whether it's better to have it float or be on the bottom. Anyway, exciting times. This was really harrowing, because this is the sort of thing where if you do it wrong, you fuck up the entire habitat and have to start over. But I did this one about as perfectly as I possibly could in terms of clearances and alignment and everything. This one was a little sloppy, but that's why I did this first, because I knew I might fuck up a little bit, and I didn't want to fuck up the really big, expensive one. It's an open question how I'm going to make more of these. I think OtterBox still makes the containers, but I'll save that for a future video. I should add that I'm now on Dick Masterson's new Patreon alternative, newproject2.com/Hampture. I'm also on Subscribestar now, so if you have moral qualms about supporting Patreon, which I understand, there are 2 other ways that you can contribute your hard-earned money to this historically unprecedented venture. I'm only 50% joking about that. This project, Hampture, is actually going to be the first time in history that any 2 underwater habitats of any kind have been linked by a pressurized air-filled passage while underwater, like in a removable modular way. The only habitat which ever had a docking collar for subs was Hydrolab, and the only habitat that was ever expanded on with another module was Helgoland, but that was removed from the water, and the extra module was welded on. These are going to be the first habitats with a system designed from the start to allow them to be connected and disconnected without removing the entire colony from the water. So that's pretty exciting. I also want to say there's going to be a contest soon. Keep your eye on my Twitter and Patreon for the details of that, and there's a really exciting surprise coming. I hope in time for the next video. It's shipping from China. It's not anything really big, but it's something that I think you guys are going to be really excited about. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Don't actually peel your eyes. That would be extraordinarily painful and probably irreversible. Shout out to my top patrons though. Jay, Alex Brosamy, Tristam, Hugh Jass. He specifically requested that I read his name in the video. Bob the Builder. Never mind. Jeremy Jackson, Sean, Corey J. Giesemann, Jay Rotsoff, Ryan Spall. I don't know how to pronounce most of these. Max Davidovich, Shekel Lord Kub, Joseph Smith. Wow, the Prophet of Mormonism. Some high-profile donors. Joe Campbell, also a titan of literary analysis. I have the best fans. Rainy Day Dream. Oh, come on, you guys. You guys. Stacia. The Spanish in something, probably Spanish Inquisition fund. Peter Hansman, Isaac Batz, Wet Millie, which sounds like a sex move, like an especially heinous sex move. Tyler King, James Barrup, Zach Junk 907, Satan. I have the Dark Lord and Prince of Lies himself supporting me. How can I fail? Core, Christopher Smith, Cole Aiden's Ratatouille. James Odell, the guy who made Odell Lake for the Apple II computer, an excellent game and probably the best RPG of all time. Jim Mob, Androgynous Dolphin. Aren't all dolphins androgynous? For the longest time, I thought they were just gay sharks. Obi, Mac, Benny the Bull, an actual bull, as I hear it. Anonymous Contra... Samuel Malloy, and Infected Carton. The rest of you are $5 donors and don't get a shout out. I'm kidding. I love you all dearly, and I'm going to appear outside your bedroom window tonight to serenade you gently with dubstep or like hamster core, if that's a genre. If it's not, then make it one.